a pleasant way to welcome you all to News Live on Voice of Liberia from the nation capital, Monrovia. This news is also live on Voice of Liberia 89.7 in Kakatama and Kibi County, 90.7 in Bangabon County. It is also live via online radio at www.voiceofliberiaradio.com. News Live is a 30 minutes of news, views, and information about Liberia and the rest of our world. Today is April 15, 2024. I am Mafida Kama presenting this edition of news. On our first development. Fire out on Sunday evening quartet and burned down the home of House Speaker Councillor Chief Fonati Kofa. Though the cause of the fire outbreak remains unknown, bystanders from the Speaker's neighborhood were seen attempting to extinguish the fire. Efforts by the Liberia National Fire Service were not adequate to salvage the fire incident. The outbreak in Monrovia and its environs has become a regular happening in the country and destroying lives and properties. The fire at Speaker's Kofa's rehab home comes less than 72 hours when the fire destroyed over 5 homes in West Point, thus rendering occupants of those homes without shelter. Amid the increasing river fire in the country, Liberians continue to call for increase in budgetable support to fire service to enable them to respond to fire situations efficiently. Here is House Speaker Fonati Kofa explaining more to newsmen in Monrovia through a press conference today.
There's absolutely no substandard wires in my house. We do not know the cause of the fire. A friend of mine who is an insurance investigator in the U.S. is going to come on Wednesday. The fire service is investigating, and according to the foreign minister, they will ask for additional help in the investigation. But there's no faulty wire in the house. Well, I don't know, and I don't want to overly speculate on things. Nothing will stop this legislature from doing the Liberian people work or doing that which we believe in our good conscience we should do on behalf of our people. Now, if you want to stop us, then burning a house is not the solution. You got to take my life. That's the only way. So I don't want to unnecessarily speculate on those kind of things. The investigation will show what went wrong. I have confided in no one about receiving threatening messages. Yes, I have received them, but I don't think I have confided or shared them with anyone. I did not want to unnecessarily alarm my family.
In the message, did it say they were on your
I am not going to tell you what the messages said. They're in my phone.
General focus,
I'm not a fire professional, so the response time to my house was about 2 hours. And they came, and when I fully prepared, although they were gallant enough to try to do the best they could. I did not mention the LPRC did extremely well. There was another private service there, I'm trying to get their name. Honorable Musa Belete had a private service there that also did extremely well. So those two groups, while they arrived very late, were the most effective. But the fire service did all they could. I think we need to have a professional system on how we arrange response times to fires.
The Gambia security concerns are once again on the rise in Gambia following the killing of 2 people in different localities in the greater Banjul area. The alleged murder of Kadi Chaku Bad of Nina and Abatu Jalud Abukat by unknown individuals in the early hours of Friday morning has instigated fear among the citizens' rate, with many of whom seeking answer cautions about their safety amidst the increasingly reported killing or criminal activities in the country. The Gambia police force has since confirmed the reported murder cases and swift intervention into both cases. The prevailing security concerns have also left many of the citizens, including the members of the political class and activists, venting their frustrations over the situation, thus demanding the government to empower the police for the protection of life and property. Here is Amadou Kantet with the details.
As we speak at this moment, the suspects are still on the run. Since this incident happened in the early hours of Friday morning, and I can tell you the latest news has been that the citizens are still very much concerned since these murder cases were reported, and they have been venting their frustrations all over, especially on social media, continue to ask questions on the authorities to, do what is expected of them to make sure that we or the citizens know exactly what happened, or what have caused the death of these two people. So this has been the latest situation so far. I can tell you, Gambians are really frustrated, and especially with the government and the Ministry of Interior, telling them that the police need to be kept to do their job, because they cannot allow people to be, killed or murdered in their own homes, whilst, the authorities probably are not doing what is expected. So apparently they are still on the run, and people are really concerned as we speak. Well, that's a very interesting question. So, it might interest you to know, and of course the listeners as well. Gambia is known as a very peaceful country, and of course it is also known as the smiling coast of Africa. But in recent years, the country has, or the situation has relatively changed a bit. Murder cases were relatively not, do not happen in the Gambia, but recently or over the years, it has turned to be something else, because there was a time, when even the president himself was concerned as to some of the criminal activities and, murder cases that were happening in the country. And there was a time that was really 2 years ago now, he ordered, in fact, all the security authority to do what is expected, or to do the needful to make sure they remedy what was happening. And at some point, in fact, had to deploy the armed forces as standby to control the situation. But since that he took that decision, the situation was under control. But recently also we have seen a surge in some criminal activities in different parts of the country, and which involved the killing of some ordinary Gambians or innocent people in their own homes. So it has become a concern for the citizenry, both home and abroad, that what is happening in Gambia is not a country that is known for it. So something needs to be done to cope this situation, because Gambia is relatively a very calm situation. But of course, the police have assured the public that they will do whatever they could to make sure that, they have controlled the situation.
The 55th Legislature Joint Committee on Ways, Means and Finance will on Wednesday commence public hearing on the 2024 draft national budget in the joint chambers of the Capitol building. The hearings will be presided over by the Joint Committee, chaired by Representative Dixon W. Sibo and co-chaired by Senator Prince Mue, according to House Press and Public Affairs Director Robert Hens. The public hearings will begin at 9 a.m. with various ministries, corporations, and agencies of government appearing to defend their respective budgetary allotments. Hence, in a statement said the expenditure hearing followed a week-long revenue component which was held behind closed doors. The Legislative Budget Office has since released the schedule for hearings on the expenditure component of the final budget that's the FY 2024 draft national budget in the sum of US $692 million. Bureau says Senator Piltari has cautioned national actors and brings beyond the establishment of the World and Economic Crimes Court in Liberia to make the process inclusive. He wants those who contributed to the Liberian Civil War face justice and account for their actions impartially and irrespective of their affiliations. The plenary of the Liberian Senate unanimously signed the amended version of the resolution which initially emulated from the House of Representatives for the establishment of the court, as the document was resent to the House for final concurrence for the new version. Commenting on the matter after affixing his signature to the resolution recently in plenary, Senator Tuare stressed that individuals who freed former President Charles Taylor from jail and used Ivory Coast corridors to transport arms and ammunition to Liberia must appear before the court. He further called on the international community to bring back former President Taylor to testify in court as a way of being transparent in the process.
For one and all inclusive war crime code, essence of the war crime code is to serve as deterrent to avoid recurrence. Right. Who are those that fuel the war in Liberia? How did the war come about? I want the war crime code to target Liberians in America who collected money to support war in Liberia. We should try to identify them, the major players should identify them, those that made contribution, and the Taylor should come to bring war here. They should face justice in Liberia as well. Rosa also won that the person who opened that cell, they say he broke jail. It's a blatant lie. They don't not breaking a jail. Somebody in America wanted war to come to Liberia. So what did they do? Open the cell and put him in a garbage truck and took him away. We want to know that person who was in charge of that very cell, who opened that cell and led the dictator out. With the sole intention of making the dictator come to Liberia, so 250,000 Liberian people can die. I want that person to be part of the war crime code. The poor Russell also won that the person who was saying that somewhere and telling me Samuel Doe, go to Freeport, we'll find an exit route for you. That person and go to the death trap. Anybody who was involved in the process of cajoling Doe to go to Freeport with the hope that he and his immediate family are going to leave. That person that made that call, traced that call, whosoever are involved into it, that person should face the war crime code here in Liberia as well. The people of Russia also won. The Ivorian that opened that border for guns to pass through their country to come to Liberia and kill our people. Those that are responsible in Africa. We don't talk about deterrence. If you want to attack those that implemented the war in Liberia, anytime somebody want to initiate war in Africa, you know, open that border again. Well, I want to get the national community to also look at the right our use. What about the convict? Where did you pass? Who allow you to enter another country and go there and cause the mayhem? I want those that are establishing the food that Mr. Allen Ware is here. I hope and pray that since he got interest in the war crime code, that war crime code will come to Liberia. So he even took a time to kind of visit here so that we can discuss the war crime code in his interest. Like, well, we have signed the paper. Your war crime code coming. So all the benefit thereafter can go to you. But what I want to say is that the countries that were involved are transit point for the coming of going into our country.
At the same time, the Rosses County Senator wants the ECOWAS to give account for the alleged action of convincing former President Samuel Doe to appear at the National Port Authority, where he was captured and subsequently killed. He vowed to reject signing into law of the establishment of the court if those who facilitated the war failed to return to Liberia.
The people of Russia also told me that some of them have called Prince Johnson while you're the Kawa base. They say, go to the court, don't go in there, go and grab me. And others are already on the ground. Though you are in a safe zone, bring all your guns. Those that call Prince Johnson, that Prince needs to go to the court to capture Doe. They led Prince Johnson to that brutal death he gave to Doe. Anybody who was involved in that process, maybe Prince will tell who you're about tango. The Liberian people, especially for Rosa's country, they won the tango is also one of those that committed war crime. The people of Rosa won that person that was in communication with Prince Johnson, telling him, go to Freeport, do there now. Then maybe the influence ECOMA to disarm him so I can be captured easily. They can't be there to the war crime code. They should face the war crime code. They have told me that if we are to legitimize this document that we have signed into law to make it forceful, as the only sign when the war crime code will be all inclusive. That means anybody who was involved into the process by contributing finances. Because even if we establish a war crime code and punish Prince Johnson and punish those that committed crime, anytime a group of Liberians in America can collect money again tomorrow, and the same thing will happen. So it's not a deterrent. It can happen anytime. But it will begin to attack it from the root, where it came from. Those that met in America and had their meetings and collected money, and those that helped to open the cell, to get him up and put him in a garbage truck to come to Africa and come to give money for you to go to Libya and do training. Those people should also face the war crime code. And I also want to appeal to you that even during the time of the war crime code here, I want you to bring Mr. Taylor to testify. Those that help you in the process, so you can leave them. Those that collect that money. The very man that will man the cell, that free him. Maybe you still know that person. I want to bring the kind of facing war crime code. If that is not in our final document, Rosa will not sign. But it's already. And unless I will obey the law, I'll forgive the law. It will not bring those perpetrators, those that initiate the war, those that fuel the war on the land. They will not bring them here. Then, my friend, River says, I can tell you, they will not pass into law the establishment of the war platform. I thank you as of this.
If you are just joining us, be reminded that you are listening to News Live on the Voice of Liberia from the nation capital, Monrovia. This news is also live on the Voice of Liberia 89.7 in Kakata-Mangibi County and 90.7 in Bangapon County. Still in the news, health officials in Ghana have attributed an increase in non-communicable diseases among young people to changes in their lifestyles. The Vice President of the Ghana Medical Association, Professor Ernest Yoki, explained that factors such as increased reliance on junk food, higher alcohol consumption, and reduced physical activity are major triggers for NEDs among the youth. Here is Jonas Biarobi with the details.
Most often you find young people and even children mostly falling sick or even contracting diseases that are related to their lifestyle and other activities. Diseases such as common typhoid and then ulcer and other diseases that are not supposed to be related to young people, but these days is currently on the rise. So the health officials are currently worried because when you go to the health facilities in the country right now, there were some diseases that we know that it is when people are actually at their old age that they contract such diseases, but it's now common among young people, and that is where the concern of the health officials can be. Are also attributing such cases to the high intake of alcohol by young people, because now many young people feel like alcohol is a fancy and it is a way of expressing their joy to celebrate almost all the time. And so alcohol is one of the things that they think is currently on higher consumption and is affecting the young people, and then making them contract diseases that are not supposed to be contracted at a very youthful. I can tell you that now if you take 10 out of 10, you will find like 6 Ghanaian youth that are associated with these kind of diseases, non-communicable diseases that the health officials are raising concerns about, talking about liver diseases, typhoid, talking about severe ulcer, and talking about liver disease that lead to dialysis. Now, when you go to the hospital, mostly it is the young people that are currently admitted and they are being treated of such diseases. But then I was just trying to raise a point that they kept emphasizing on the fact that the lifestyle of young people is what is bringing all these issues. And one of them I mentioned was the high
A 33-year-old man identified as Jordan David has been remanded at the Monrovia Central Precinct for reportedly forging the signature of President Joseph Boakai at the National Fishery and Aquaculture Authority. Defendant David was arrested, investigated, and charged by the Liberia National Police with the alleged crimes of conspiracy, impersonating officials, and theft of property. The LNP recounted in a report that on April 5, 2024, the defendant was arrested and investigated based on complaint filed by Emmanuel Topat, who was reportedly duped by suspect David. In his communication, David claimed that President Boakai nominated him to the position of Deputy Inspector for Administration of NAFA, a purported portfolio he uses to pursue individuals who have become victims of his deeds. The police said the defendant pretends to give jobs to his victims while he collects their huge sum of money in exchange. Police Inspector General Kwekwe Commons has led a cleanup campaign team of police officers in the Toilet Market on Sunday aimed at ensuring a clean and safe environment. Scores of LMP officers were seen with clean up materials such as brooms, shovels, and yellow machine, among others, cleaning garbage from the main streets, toilet, and in markets on the Pulshot Island. The exercise, which took place Thus, the exercise, which took many buyers and sellers, including citizens, by surprise, saw the prevention of sonnet, while the officers remained engaged with maintaining a free space. Common said the exercise is part of the police community initiative efforts to ensure a clean city, adding that RMP is willing partnering with the Municipal Borough and Monrovia City Corporation and the Pittsville City Corporation and other cities across the country. He noted that the ongoing initiative is one of the major ways the police intend to build a cordial relationship with the community and together foster a safe and clean environment. The police boss indicated that the exercise is a gradual initiative and is extending to the red light and other parts of Monrovia, promising that the Liberia National Police will further initiate another measures to reduce crimes.
You see, when you talk about safety in a community, it encompasses a lot. It's not just about the absence of crime, it's the availability of a lot of other things that connect to make a community safe. The cleanliness of that community is a part of safety as well. And that's why we are collaborating with the community to ensure the cleanliness of the community as well. Well, this is just a call to action. We are going to be a part of a larger task force that will be working strictly with the city governments. We'll be working with the city, the City Hall of Monrovia, the Pittsville City Hall, and other city halls around the country to continue this initiative. It's before we could get to a task force point, we have already started engagement with the community. So we went ahead with this launch, but going forward, it will be in full collaboration with the different municipal governments and stuff to support the initiative. Everything that speaks to safety as we go along will form a part of the initiatives that we will be rolling out. When we find a need in the community, we address it. Once it connects to our overarching responsibility, we connect it. Look, safety is way bigger than what we all think, than what we all see. This is a part of the actual safety of the community. Police is a part of the community. What we do for the community, we do for ourselves as well. So this is not something that's out of the ordinary. I mean, it's just us being members of the community and playing our responsible part as well.
The Inspector General of Police, Gregory Commons, has ordered an immediate investigation into circumstances leading to the death of the Liberian citizen, Prince Weru. It can be recalled that the deceased suspect, Prince Weru, aged 30, had been detained at Salem Airport after being charged with theft by deception. It is alleged that he extorted $200 United States from the complainant, promising to repair his vehicle, something he failed to do since the 1st of April 2024. RG Commons has ordered a comprehensive investigation, including a request to the Minister of Justice to authorize a coroner investigation to determine the consequences surrounding the incident. The release from the Office of the Inspector General of the LMP indicates that all officers on duty during the incident are subjected to a professional standard investigation, as well as detainees are being considered persons of interest in the investigation. However, RG Commons has assured members of the public that the investigation will be conducted impartially to ensure that justice is served, as well as a timely report be made available to the public. The Civil Servants Working Group on Land Rights Reform and the Multi-Actor Platform on Land Governance and Responsible Agricultural Investment in Liberia have called on national government to prioritize land in its agenda. As land remains one of the top utmost issues for all Liberians, the institutions want President Joseph Boakai to make it a top priority of the government's arrest agenda. In a joint statement over the weekend, the groups reminded the Liberian leader that the land is directly linked to the promotion of agricultural production, food security, and attracting both foreign and domestic investment. They further indicated that farmland and land-based resources such as forest and also gaining interest attention for their role in mitigating global climate change through carbon trading and conservation initiatives. The group said land can be a contributing factor to promoting national peace, development, and security, adding that it requires the potential that the political will, commitment, and dedication of all stakeholders to push the progressive land agenda in Liberia. Meanwhile, the group have outlined numerous challenges confronting the sector. They said effective land administration and technical security are critical to the success of the arrest agenda. However, the land sector is facing numerous obstacles that impede progress and hinder opportunities. A pre-democratic organization, the Citizens United to Promote Development and Accountability, has called on President Boakai to send the necessary legislation that will accelerate the establishment of the World and Economic Crimes Court in the country. The executive director of the organization, Fatal Palot, said this is necessary to propel the international community to pour in the funds necessary to make court workable and functional. Addressing a news conference in Monrovia during the weekend, Mr. Ballot commended the 55th legislature for taking the bold steps in adopting the resolution. He also appealed to the lawmakers to work with necessary civil society organizations in drafting the necessary laws that will establish the code. Barlow further called on the international partners, especially the United States, to provide the logistics and funding to aid the process.
The Citizens United to Promote Development and Accountability commends the House of Senate of the 55th Legislature of the Republic of Liberia for its unanimous concurrence with the House of Representatives on the historic resolution to establish War and Economic Crimes Court. This vital step represents a profound commitment to the principles of justice and marks the beginning of a new era in our nation's fight against the scourge of impunity and corruption. The need for the War and Economic Crimes Court has never been more pronounced, as our nation still bears the indelible scars from a brutal civil conflict that saw over 250,000 of our brothers and sisters perish, in an era of corruption that has stifled our growth and potential. The Senate's concurrence is a testament to the power of collective will and the voices of countless Liberians who have longed for justice and the eradication of the pervasive corruption that has eroded the very fabric of our society. Citizens United to Promote Development and Accountability now implores the legislature to act with haste and determination in passing the requisite legal statutes that will operationalize the War and Economic Crimes Court. The establishment of this court is an urgent matter, reflective not only of our desire to address the crimes of the past, but also to lay a foundation for a future free from the chain of corruption and impunity. The role of the President of Liberia in this process cannot be overstated. We call upon His Excellency, President Joseph Yuma Boakai, to manifest the commitment professed during his inaugural speech into tangible support for the legislature's efforts to establish the War and Economic Crimes Court. The President's leadership and advocacy are vital in ensuring that the court becomes a reality.
This is how we come to the end of News Live on Voice of Liberia from the nation capital, Monrovia. This news was live from 89.7 in Kakatamangibi County and 90.7 in Bangabon County. For more news, log on to www.voiceofliberiaradio.com. Thanks for listening and watching this edition of News Live on Voice of Liberia. I am Afida Kamara. Good afternoon.